Good day. I am Alexandra Nicole S. QUINDOZA, Prime Minister of the government side of the motion. A state burial must be given to President Ferdinand Marcos. In the motion, we are to define state burial as the honor for a person to be buried at the libingan ng mga bayani in Taguig City, Metro Manila. Ferdinand Emmanuel Edlarin Marcos Sr. is infamous for his declaration of the martial law in 1972. But apart from that, he is also a war veteran during the Second World War, a lawyer, a member of the Philippine House of Representatives from 1949 to 1959, a member of the Philippine Senate from 1959 to 1965, and later on became the 10th President of the Philippines in 1966. It is said that during his regime that the Philippines was at its highest point because of the projects handled by him. Some of these are the Green Revolution, wherein the production of rice increased, making the Philippines self-sufficient in rice in 1968, for the first time in history since the American period. The Blue Revolution, wherein marine species were produced and distributed to farmers at a minimum cost. Energy self-reliance, where indigenous energy sources were developed, making the Philippines the first in Asia to use dendrothermal, and in 5 years became the #2 next to US in geothermal utilization. And most importantly, the Philippines became the second richest country next to Japan in Asia. These accomplishments were truly amazing and outstanding, but despite from all of these, people are blinded by a mistake that he made years ago. People are blinded that up until now that he is dead, they don't want him to be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani, which were for persons who have done great things for our country. According to Ben Cal of the Standard, libingan ng mga bayani is a burial place of gallant Filipinos, mostly soldiers who died as heroes fighting in defense of freedom. It is also for Medal of Valor awardees, Presidents of the Philippines, being the Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of National Defense and Chief of Staff of Armed Forces of the Philippines, and war veterans of the Philippine Revolution 1896 and the First and Second World Wars. Under these circumstances, Ferdinand Marcos surely is qualified to be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani. He earned the Medal of Valor for extraordinary gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty in a suicidal action against overwhelming enemy forces at the junction of Salian River and Abo-Abo River, Bataan, on or about January 22, 1942. Of course, he became a president and is also a war veteran during the Japanese period. Although he falls under a disqualification for personnel who were dishonorably separated, reverted, discharged from the service, strong regulations qualify the late president to be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani. And with all of this being said, I rest my case.
Good day, I'm RYLEE, the Deputy Prime Minister of the government side, here to address the problem regarding Marcos's state burial in libingan of the bayani. Firstly, from the word libingan ng mga bayani, the bayani word is emphasized. From the bayani is defined as someone who has served the country well through the accomplishments and their bravery. And what better example would be Ferdinand Marcos. Marcos has served the country since before he was president. He was a soldier during the World War II and during the Japanese colonization. He has risked his life to protect innocent civilians and as well as our country's dignity, garnering various awards from his brave exploits such as the Medal of Valor, a medal which is awarded to those soldiers who have displayed conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty. Secondly, as a president, he has made several improvements in our country which has helped our state greatly. Just like specialized hospitals like the Philippine Kidney Lung Center and Philippine Heart Center, which has catered to the needs of the poor people who need the medication. And also the MRT and LRT system, which is a great help even now in our current society, especially to our commuters. And before I end my case, I would just like to address his disqualification regarding his moral turpitude. Fact is, he was never convicted by the final judgment for moral turpitude, therefore, this disqualification is negated. So, with that, I end my case.
Good day. I am John D. COMBALICER, the second Deputy Prime Minister of the government side, is here to address about the state burial of the late President Ferdinand Marcos. Just recently, during a presidential debate, the issue was once again brought up and the candidates were asked if they are in favor of the late President's burial at the libingan ng mga bayani. Only 2 out of the 4 candidates were in favor, and one of them was the former mayor of Davao City and the presumptive President of the Philippines, Mr. Rodrigo Duterte. Mr. Duterte wanted to end the issue about Ferdinand Marcos because he wants to unite our country. As long as the issue exists, divisive factor among Filipinos will also exist. In addition, Mr. Duterte stated that it's time for the country to move on. And instead of arguing about the issue, we should focus on the other issues of our country that needs to be resolved. And as the quotation says, if you hold on to your history, you do it at the expense of your destiny. History is something that is part of our life, but it is not something that dictates how the rest of our lives will be. With that said, I rest my case.
Good day. I'm RAPHAEL Malig, and I'm the government whip. To sum up everything, we are in favor of giving a state burial to the late President Ferdinand Marcos for the following reasons. First, President Marcos is qualified to be buried at the Libingan ng Bayani, for he has reached the standard set by the regulation book of the Armed Forces of the Philippines that state that for a person to be buried in Libingan ng Bayani, he must be a Medal of Valor recipient, President of the Philippines, and veteran of the Philippine Revolution 1896 and World War I and World War II. Second, President Ferdinand Marcos is a hero, for he has served the country during the Japanese period. He volunteered himself to fight and risk his life for the country, and during that, makes him a hero that must be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani. Third, this issue has been tough decades until now, and no progress has been made, which makes our country more divisive. So it's time for us to move on and to let go of all the pride and judgment which instill hatred and resentment into our hearts. It is better for our country to be unified in one cause of such having a trust to give the power to people. We know who can lead and serve the people and the country, yet we tend to indiscriminate more people by what bad things they have done rather than say the good things we see to him. To give emphasis for the essence and the qualifications of having a state burial, it is like holding a book. It doesn't mean we can change the content or idea of the book just because of who or what we are. In the same matter, if others hold the same book, we don't need to judge a book because of the person who was holding it, and yet the book content still be the same. It is unfortunate, however, that in the midst of all the blitz and because of the spotlight which seeks to direct our thoughts and attention, we tend to forget the heroes who every day put their lives on the line in the name of the country and the people. The ideals of our profession will forever stay alive: gallantry, patriotism, and service to our motherland. We are subjected to imperfections. We can say that not any one of our presidents has been a clean one. Yes, Marcos has made mistakes during his term, but above all that, He has done his job as better as any other. With that said, let us just let him rest in peace and give him honor that he deserves.